Hello! I'm here. Welcome in. Hello. Welcome, everyone. Hope you're all having a good day. Just had to check my audio settings a little bit before we started up. But we're all good. Ravenfire Gaming swooping in with a Prime sub. And Dimar with the 12-month resub. Everyone spam the word nerd in the chat, please. Thank you so much for the full year of support. Enjoy your brand new nerd sub badge. Welcome to the Nerd Herd. Hello. Lovely to be here with you all. Looking around at my lights, they looked a little bit purple to me, but that's also because I have the overhead light on, so I should probably switch that off for proper ambiance. There we go. Still a little bit purple, but it works. How is everyone? How is your Thursday? We're about to poison ourselves with cave spiders. It's going to be great. Bunch of nerds. All you bunch of nerds. Welcome in, everyone. Hello. Yeah, the lights are working, which is good. Everything seems fancy. Alright. Triple. Oh, baby, a triple. Mum, get the camera. Yes, we're going to be setting up a triple cave spider spawner farm. Ginger with the tier 2 for 35 months. Thank you so much. And Mr. Beardstone with the 25 as well. Almost an ancient one at this point. Rising from the sea. Exciting times. So, yeah, today's plan. Thank you for the hype train, folks. Today's plan is to get the majority of the work done on this cave spider spawner. I have done an explainer for it in the video. And hopefully all of the footage that we capture here on stream is going to be fun for people who want to see the behind-the-scenes work. And then I'll come back and do an explainer about how the whole thing works. Might bring in a spectator account. I'm not certain if I want to do that yet, because it involves opening the world to LAN and everything else. But, yeah, I want to be able to show people the farm in action. And with cave spiders in particular, it's much easier to do that if we have like a camera that can fly around. There's 3 different spawners all working at once. There's a lot going on, so I'm not certain about that yet. But yeah, we'll see how that works. In the meantime, let's hop into it, because I've done a bit of work already, figuring out which of these spawners is going to provide us with like activation at the same time. And we got one down here, one here behind me, and one up there in the ceiling. And our quest right now is to go and get some buckets first and foremost, because I need to place a lot of water sources. But yeah, hopefully this should all work out pretty well. And I don't know if I have any iron. I have like 1 piece of raw iron, and I threw all of that stuff in the chest in the start of today's episode, which is going really well, by the way. Thank you for supporting that episode, folks who have watched today's survival guide episode about melon and pumpkin farms. Black Steel gifting 2 subs and subscribing yourself for 4 months of tier 2. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Let's see if we can grab a little bit more iron from the cave around here just to make 1 more bucket. 1 more is really all we need. And there might even be some iron in the abandoned mine shaft that I just haven't gathered because I haven't done too much else around here. But I didn't bring everything I needed with me because I was like, what do I actually need for this? And then I realized I haven't done one of these for about 4 years. So it's been a while. Dogman Jack with the 7 months, taking us to tier 2 on the hype train. There we go, that's some iron. Perfect. Yeah, all we'll need is 2. 2 is all we need. Will I show a guide in automatic wheat farming? Eventually, yes. But crop nano farms and stuff are pretty basic, and honestly, I think you get more out of fortune farming, so it's not the biggest priority. Let's just cook that with a piece of coal. Why not? I got another deep slate coal, by the way. I found that literally outside the entrance of here, so not that rare after all, is it? That's in the episode. Saw some iron next to the spawners. Yeah, there's probably some around. Like I said, I probably just missed it here and there. But we have an infinite water source set up. It's just we're going to be spending a lot of time in crawl spaces with water buckets. It's -2 degrees Fahrenheit. Yeah, it's pretty cold here as well. It's cold for the UK anyway. The UK, you know, we'll sometimes get into the negatives depending on where you are. But only on the negatives on the Celsius scale, which is a little bit less chilly than the -2 Fahrenheit. Stay warm. So I have one more cave spider spawner over here, which I don't think is going to activate with the rest of this set, unfortunately. It's just a little bit too far away to activate with the 2 furthest ones here. With that one and with that one. Although there might be a point, like, somewhere up there where we could just about get it, but 4 is almost too much. 4 is not worth it. Which spawner design is this? I'm not following anybody else's tutorial. It's my own, because I think with cave spider spawners especially, like... Is that a tropical fish? I have noticed the tropical fish spawn down here because we're in a lush cave, and yep. It died. Okay, so we've witnessed a death on camera already. This is, it's kind of difficult when it comes to cave spider spawner setups, because they're always in different places. And so we're just going to have them drop into 3x3 areas, 3x3 water streams, taking them down into an area. They're going to funnel up with a soul sand bubble column, over 2 blocks to some hoppers. We attack them with the swords. Easily done. You're making a cave spider spawner and they couldn't make it so they didn't hit you. It's about where you stand, and if you put, I think, like a wall and a trap door in front of you, and then you can hit them over the top of that, they usually can't hit you back. I think that's the way it works. Anyway, we're going to be hopping on down here and starting to dig out a little bit of the tunnel here. I'm going to try and keep these tunnels relatively shallow. So we are going to need to use the fence gate or trapdoor trick to get into crawling position a couple of times, but I've explained that in the episode as well. Raisins, thanks so much for gifting 5 subs, and Devon gifting a sub as well. Thank you very much. Got 2 minutes left on that hype train if you want to hop on board by cheering some bits, gifting some subs, subscribing yourself if you're not already, or resubbing if you've got one handy. No pressure, though. We can actually take this floor out one more layer. Do I still have any cobblestone walls? I do. Great. Because we want to be 1 block down until we get to about here. Is this going to be long enough? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, that's going to be fine. And we need the spiders to go around a corner here, which is the difficult part, but hopefully that should be fine. Dogman Jack gifting 5 subs as well. Minute left on the hype train. We're almost at level 3. And this side here should be fairly straightforward to do. Jacko, thank you so much for the 5 months of tier 1. Right here we have them go over a wall. And we have fence gates here, fence gates here. And then the rest of this can just be... Wait a second. Yeah, the water goes there. My mistake. I'm losing it. So the water goes all the way up to here. They hop up onto these cobblestone walls. And then this section here comes out one. And in fact, actually, they only really want to be going around the corner like that. Okay, I think I have a solution for this. Yeah, I can get into crawling from there. Can I? Oh, no, maybe I can't. Okay. Well, in that case, I'm going to swim instead. If I can... There we go. Get into swimming formation. If we put a bucket of water here, that should still push them that way. Yeah, I see the water streams going around in the right formation. Perfect. Okay, great. Good, good, good. That's what we needed. So the spiders fall directly down here. Ideally, actually we can take that out now. Ideally what happens is we brick this up. so that this whole section basically is only 1 block high. And then the spiders are basically forced underneath this and into the system from there. Alright, we'll do the rest with the bricks since I've made them. Since I've got them here. And then obviously we want to take out the torches down here in case those are still there once we activate the farm. Do you find the cave spiders often get caught in places? Tried to make a farm in your world, but it didn't go very well. They do, yeah. I think the main thing to do is to keep them moving as much as you can, because, like, if their AI is active, they'll usually start pathfinding around, and eventually they'll work themselves out of spaces. The main thing is just to make sure there aren't any, like, 1-block crawl spaces that they can get into, right? But with these ones over here, so many tropical fish, oh my goodness. Like an entire school of them. I hope that's not going to affect the spawner too much. It might. But yeah, these ones over here are going to fall down into this gap. And we have water streams propelling them over here in much the same way as we did just there. And they're all going to go towards a soul sand bubble column. And so hopefully the journey here is short enough that they're not going to run into too many obstacles. But yeah, they always end up climbing walls and stuff. The main thing to remember is that they'll work themselves free eventually, or in the case of this, if we keep the water streams like close enough, they'll drown. Oh dear, I've messed this up. There we go. Okay, cool. As long as that's behaving itself, because we don't want them crawling out of weird spaces. Do I still play on the Survival Guide Season 1 world off camera? I've done bits and pieces of work on the museum, but nothing else. Because I don't really have time to play worlds off camera, because I play worlds on camera all the time.
Well, that's just prime.
Let's throw some of this on here, and the copper and stuff can go in there as well. Mainly what we need to do is fill out the water streams at this stage. And with the third spawner up here, what I've decided I'm going to do is just have them funnel down into the water in this room. They'll come in through like a side wall, and then they'll all just get added to the central bit there, instead of having like a third stream trying to end up in the same space. Enstrath, thank you so much for the Prime sub, Mr. Pedantic, and Mika Snow with the Prime subs as well. Nat Hebe or Nathabe, I'm not sure. Thank you for the tier 1 sub either way. Aramis Elder, thank you for gifting 5 subs. And Useless Rogue with the 5 months. Is there ever really Thursday without a Pixel stream? I mean, I hope so, because there are some Thursdays when I can't stream, and I would hate for you to not have a Thursday. Is this hardcore? No, you can tell if it's hardcore or not by checking the hearts, because unless somebody is using a weird texture pack, the hearts in hardcore will always have that kind of extra little dent in them. I never know what that's supposed to be. Is it meant to be like an angry face? I am going to start, like, twitching ever so slightly if the fence gates aren't all facing the same way. Delta Avenue, thank you so much for the 2 months of Prime. Second month is the month someone decides to continue to be supportive. It is, and what a wonderful thing it is to receive such support. Thank you very much. Hope you're continuing to enjoy all of the fun stuff we do here on the channel. Sprocket with the 8 months. These streams make a 37-year-old nurse very happy at the moment when I need some happiness. Thanks for all the content. Thank you for everything that you do, because, man, nursing is not easy right now. So thank you very much for everything that you've been doing, and I'm glad to be the person who can provide you a little bit of relaxation and frivolity, especially right now. I hear a spider when I'm near a cave spider spawner. I immediately get worried. I think we need to go and get the soul sand. I think that's the main thing right now, is go and get the soul sand. Ow. So let's see if I can remember my way out of this place. Found a cave spider spawner last night and freaked as well. Oh, I'm glad you're still playing, Rory. Glad you're still having fun. I mean, and by having fun, I mean finding cave spider spawners, which isn't always fun. But yeah, they're a little intense. Barry Asthma, thank you so much for the 3 months. Alright, nice long cave vine here that we can probably climb to get up here. Look at this, beautiful. Watch me fall off it now. Ah, we're good. Okay. Non-empty string says the survival guide has been a highlight of my day in the past 2 weeks. When I see any video drop everything, go watch it immediately. Well, thank you very much. It means a lot to have that kind of support, as always. And thank you for the 100 bits. I hope everyone's been enjoying the Redstone focus this week. We're going to do villagers next week. I've seen a lot of people asking questions about that. When are we going to do an iron farm? When are we going to cover this or that with villagers? It's all going to happen, folks. Just got to go and find a village first. And I did take a poll on YouTube and on Twitter, and people did say they wanted the redstone farms first. So, farming week this week, villagers next week. That's the plan. Knocking off all the sand that's falling down here. Oh, and I didn't bring my boat with me, so let's go for a swim. Survival guide plus coffee is the best start to a morning. Well, for me it's survival guide and tea, but I can't do coffee, it makes me too jittery. Let's see if we can catch a ride on a dolphin on the way past here. You can't actually ride dolphins, but you can swim with them, and it gives you a little bit of a speed boost. Magpie Ludum just started following. Thanks for getting me back into Minecraft again. Hey, you are welcome. I hope you enjoy this bizarre and wonderful game. Survival guide and juice. There you go. There you go. Excited for village content in Season 2. Yeah, we're going to cover the basics, and then at some point in future, we're probably going to do like a village renovation kind of thing. When we find one that's in a cool location, depending on which one we find this time around, it might be the same village, it might be a different one. But at various points, I do want to go out and find, like, some of the other villages, the other, like, biome-specific villages, so that we can cover, like, what's in each of them, what to look out for. Love the taste of coffee that makes me too jittery, so I stick to tea as well. Yeah, I don't know what it is. It's just, like, it always triggers my anxiety. It's, not my favorite feeling. I can only have coffee when I'm going to have, like, a really relaxing day, and I'm just, like, out with friends, which obviously doesn't happen as much recently. Which version of Minecraft was my first time ever playing? I picked up Minecraft in 2014 on the Xbox 360. I think it was Title Update 14. And they'd only just introduced emeralds and trading and anvils and stuff to the game. So you didn't use lapis for enchanting. Horses weren't in the game yet. The wither wasn't a thing for the Xbox version. And 6 months later, I started playing on PC where everything was different. Where it was already on version 1.8. But the version I started playing on Xbox was closer to 1.4, I think. You've only got spider spawners, 2 cave spider ones and a normal one, and one a zombie spawner so bad. Honestly, skeletons are the ones that I'm still missing. Like, I really want a skeleton spawner so that we can get a ton more bone meal that way. There's other ways of getting bone meal, of course, so it's not the end of the world, but skeleton spawner is probably the most useful out of the 3. The 3 dungeon ones, at least. You know what? I'll get a boat for the return journey. I had one in the chest there, I just didn't bring it with me. There was a snapshot where you enchanted with gold ingots, and then it was changed to lapis? Really? I never knew that. I wasn't around on, like, the snapshot side of things before they implemented that system. Because that was, like, 1.8, right? Like, that had only just started when I really started playing Minecraft. Yeah, let's just craft one with the spruce planks. Why not? There we go. Tap the crafting tables together. That way you're really crafting at that point. Hello? Let me out. Happy Nerdy and Knitting, thank you so much for the 3 months. And Lena Hun with the 7, thank you very much. Hopefully I didn't miss anybody in the hype train earlier. Thank you all so much for the support. Am I going to make an all mob spawner at all? Like a general mob spawner? Yes, definitely. Not soon, because we don't really need that level of mob drops for a while. But definitely once we start needing gunpowder in larger quantities for TNT and fireworks and that kind of thing. I have not slept in this world for a few days, so I should probably end up getting underground sooner rather than later, because otherwise we'll get phantoms. And I haven't explained phantoms in the series yet, so I prefer not to fight them. And yeah, the parrot has not learned any monster noises, because I usually go to bed sooner rather than later. He started in October of 2011 in 1.4. There was so little to do I didn't play again for 10 years. Yeah. It's funny because some people got a bunch out of this game back in the really early stages. But the really early stages of the game were, of course, like, you made Mario out of pixel art and you built the houses out of blocks because stairs didn't exist yet. That's the really early Minecraft days. So, yeah, I was never quite part of that. I was already building stuff like windmills when I started on the Xbox version because, you know, stairs and fences and things existed. It was 2010, that was probably beta 1.4, not like full release 1.4. Wait, where am I going? Down here. Getting all turned around. I haven't really covered axolotls yet either. What's the plan for today's stream? It's in the title. Work on a triple cave spider farm. If you can't see the title because you're on mobile, do ! title in the chat. Still really weird to me that they don't show you titles of streams on mobile. Like, it's only the most important thing about coming into a stream. Get our water back. We'll pop a fence gate here just so we can duck underneath. Of course, we've got to try not to drown in the process, so yeah. There we go. This time around... Can I swim like this? I guess I can't, right? Yeah, we'll fill that in from the other side. The time when zombies used to drop feathers? Oh man, I was not around for that. Those heady days. Alright, now we need... Oh, hang on. Those need to be one block further over. So that we're blocking them from coming in on the stairs.
That's just prime.
And then we do water buckets there and there. The water streams continue. Wait a minute. We need them here as well. Or maybe we put them here in the first place. Yeah, I think we messed up the first time around. I think we need to put them there. Because they need to block the water sources from going upwards here. And we need one there. And one there. So this all funnels through into the center, and then we need our soul sand right here. They hop onto the walls, get pushed up onto the soul sand. Zoop. Straight up. That's the idea. Now we have to fill this whole thing in with water sources, which is always a treat when you don't have ice. But we'll do it anyway. Yep. Welcome to the bouncy castle, my friends. We know we've done it right. if we don't drop at any point during this. Okay, that should be fine. And then we put this up here, that there, water flows over, we cover up that with blocks, spiders come out here, hoppers underneath there, everybody wins. Iron. My favourite. That should be enough for a few hoppers. Yep, there we go. Perfect. You end up using kelp. Yeah, I feel like it's not a huge issue for these. It's not a particularly tall bubble column. Like, if it was one of those ones that goes to the top of a mountain or something, then maybe, but we'll cover kelp another time. Is this the same design as Season 1 Cave Spider Farm? Kind of no. There's a couple of things that are a bit different, but generally speaking, the principle is the same. You use water to push cave spiders around. They end up in this little column here. You hit them with a sword, collect the drops. Like, it's the same basic idea, just a couple of minor differences, really. Let's put the deep slate blocks in, just so that we have something a bit more permanent down here, instead of all this clay. We'll obviously make this look a little prettier afterwards, but right now I just want to make sure that I don't end up with, like, getting too overzealous, swinging my sword, and breaking a bunch of these clay blocks by accident. This is a nice, relaxing piece of music to be working on a spider farm to. No, no, come back. Thank you. How am I doing today? I've been better. We have some plumbing issues in the house right now that are basically a repeat of the plumbing issues we had about a month and a half ago, so I am a little bit peeved. But aside from that, I'm okay. How are you? Do you have any spare chests from the minecarts around here? Can probably start breaking any minecart chests we see, because I collected all the loot from them. And that way we can use the chests for hoppers instead of wasting wood. Can also collect some of these rails, because you never know when they might come in useful. Barry Chunk gifting 10 subs. Oh my goodness, thank you so much. And thank you for the 5 months of Prime. Thank you for your dedication to Minecraft. I started playing in late 2019 after years of not gaming. Quickly found your fantastic first survival guide series. I have my own world I'm playing along in this new one. It's great fun. Thank you. Well, thank you for the support. It really means a lot. It's always wonderful to hear that I've got somebody into Minecraft or help them along their Minecraft journey. Any more minecart chests around here? There's probably one or two. I recall there being a couple in here, but I've lost the layout of this place in my head because we've opened out so many of these corridors now. So I'm certain there's another minecart chest around here, but I don't remember where it is. And yes, I just walked into my own spider spawner. Hup. Not down that way. That's just a fountain, apparently. How will I be within 16 blocks of all of the spawners? Are they all that close to each other? Yes. In the video, which will be coming out tomorrow, including all of this setup stuff, I will show you the process of figuring out whether they're close enough to each other. It's basically a combination of comparing coordinates and thinking, yeah, this one has the potential to be close to this one. And then I dig out this basically like strip of area, and I'm like, okay, there's another spawner over here. Is that close enough for that one to be active? No, it's not. I need to be 2 blocks that way. By that point, that one's not active. And this is basically the diagonal between the two, so we're as close as we're going to get. And I decide that actually that's not worth it. Let's try comparing the coordinates of this one to the coordinates of that one. And those two are close enough that you can activate both of them. Are they close enough that we can activate a third? Third one is up here, which is too far away from that one. And then we got this one down here. So if I stand here, that one's active, that one's active, that one's active. And if we stand over here for where our killing mechanism is going to be, they should all be working. Is there no kelp nearby? There is, but I don't need kelp because you can just place a few water buckets. It's not the biggest deal. And it's also a fish farm, yes. We're in a lush cave, as you can tell from all of the moss and clay around. So, yeah, we do get tropical fish spawning in this spider spawner, which is potentially going to be a problem, but it's a hilarious problem, so I'll live with it. Pumpkin seeds can go in there. We'll get a little bit more of this. We can ditch those. We'll need... I'll craft 1 chest, fine. Twist my arm. 3 hoppers. And we'll need a sorting... Not a sorting chest, but like a loot chest anyway. This is not really for drops. It's much more about XP. Lush cave spawn tropical fish. Boy, do they. They really do, yes. That is not some kind of weird, like, fluke or something. It is very much by design. Okay, so all of those are going into there. We'll do a double chest here. Bless you. Deep slate brick slab over this. In fact, do I have any... I have enough cobblestone. May as well make a stone cutter while we're down here. Let's cook that. Light slab of the 11 months. And 2Titter2, thank you so much for the 100 bits and the fanfare, presumably. 2Titter2. It won't open, it has a full block above, hence why I'm talking about making slabs using a stone cutter. I've thought of these things, you see. Make some stairs. Because I think cave spiders can get out underneath half blocks. Which means a slab might potentially be a problem. But we can open it with a stair, so that's fine. And I guess we'll do that. And we will figure out some sort of way of making sure that the cave spiders don't hit us. But I think just putting like fence gates or trapdoors up against this is going to keep them at arm's length. Then I'll go and get my Bane of Arthropods sword. Although this one has sweeping edge, so sharpness and sweeping edge probably not the worst idea. Oh good, we have glow squid as well. I was forgetting about you. Why does this keep happening? What is this? What is this weird block update that keeps doing? I'm very confused about this. Not going to happen once we have a wall around this whole thing, obviously, but, like, why does it keep doing that? That's something to do with the fish? Can we free the tropical fish? There's no need, they'll just respawn. Hey, what's up, Boz? How's the new job going? Very excited for you. Hope it's all going well for you, man. Obviously, as a very passionate individual, you deserve to have some good work to do. So from down here, from up here, rather, That is a weird water glitch. Yeah, I've never seen it do that before. I am wondering if it's something to do with the fish. But, like, why? There is a slime chunk around here, I know that much. I'm actually kind of low on slime, so I'm trying to kill them when I see them. Oh, and it split into 4 as well. What a legend. Wish I had my looting sword on me. This one's just got some of the other enchants. But this is going to be more than enough slime for the moment. I might need some sticky pistons while I'm down here as well, so that's a good thing. Miss Kitty with the 5 months, and Chris Witt, I want to say. Thank you so much for the tier 1. I'm going to assume that's how you pronounce that. The vines in Lush Caves always fool you into thinking it's a creeper. They are a similar green in Lush Caves. And there's just a little bit of texture behind that you're like, is that a... Don't really want to tangle with that. Will I make a slime farm with that chunk? Probably not. Because I don't know exactly where the chunk is yet. We haven't really got to the point in the series where I can make a slime chunk farm, and digging out a slime farm is really something you should do after you've got a beacon, unless you want to spend 2 days doing it. In my experience. Obviously, it's a little bit easier now with moss mining, especially once you get into deep slate layers, but yeah, overall I'm not certain it's worth it. You have 1,111 viewers. I always end up with Bilbo's party speech stuck in my head whenever the numbers get like that. I'm like, this is my 111th viewer! And everyone's like, hey! It's probably because I've just been thinking about Lord of the Rings a lot lately. So we're going to have this tube basically just feed the cave spiders in this way. So it's going to be kind of a hybrid of the two. Got my shears for the cobwebs this time. Everyone was like, oh, why are you breaking the cobwebs with a sword? I'm like, guys, relax, there are more cobwebs. Skull86, thank you for the Prime sub for 6 months. Welcome back. When am I going to end the stream? Why? Have you got somewhere to be? The stream usually ends around 6-ish. UK time. It is currently 3:42. We might end a little bit earlier, just so I can get a little bit more recording done on this episode, but we've got a fair bit to do before that. Yeah, on top of these... keep going with the deep slate brick. There's so much of this stuff now. Come back. I am torn about whether I want to have lighting in this farm as well, because we could put redstone lamps in, we could wire the whole thing up. It's a little bit of an extra task, but honestly, just walking into this area is going to start the farm up, right? So in theory, once it's all put together and there aren't any places for the cave spiders to escape, we don't need to worry about the lighting aspects at all. We just have them come out the side there, basically. Water streams can flush them down. We might even be able to get rid of this, especially since it's been causing trouble. We just kind of put it like that. It flows down there. It continues. Oh, incredible. What a world. And of course, the spiders are going to like try and climb up the sides of this if they bounce off it, but... Spiders, eh? What can you do? I mean, really. But for the water streams up there, which we can probably take care of in a second, we are almost good to go here. Like, good for a first test. The problem, of course, is that if the spiders can see me at that point, the aggro mechanics start to take over. And that affects their pathfinding. So ideally we want to cut off any kind of chance of them seeing me. It's also part of the reason I want to have the redstone lamp set up in here, is so that I can get rid of the torches without immediately being swarmed by cave spiders. So maybe we will do that after all. You want one there, one there. Hop, hop. You want one there. And one there. Looking good. Looking good. Am I using tinted glass? No. Haven't really got to the point where I've explained tinted glass yet. We could come back and redesign some of this stuff later, of course. So there's no reason why we can't do that in future. But as of right now, we don't have it. So this is our third spawner, which I haven't really touched yet because it's up in the air, which makes it kind of awkward. I am going to be breaking out all of the walls here just because it's only stone, it doesn't take as long to mine. And I want to make sure that I don't end up falling into this thing by mistake. Break through a wall, ruin the water streams, that kind of stuff. There's our other mineshaft chest. I knew it was here somewhere. Haven't introduced Optifine yet. Nope, still using default. Still using vanilla default. Okay, interesting loot. Feel like I probably just left that there. See you later, Mr. Pedantic. Have a good one. Yeah, the stream should be up on YouTube within 24 to 48 hours of going live. The most recent stream wasn't up on YouTube yet because I had to dispute a music copyright claim on the VOD itself on Twitch, which would have muted the section of the VOD that got uploaded to YouTube as well, I believe. But, yeah. All of the VODs are going to be available ad-free because some of the music I use on streams is not YouTube safe for copyright claims, but that's fine. Like, it's just a VOD, it's not the biggest deal in the world. Don't mind giving people a little bit of money for using their music. So I say ad-free, they're probably going to put ads on things, but it's not going to be monetized for me, if that makes any sense. Should probably not promise things that it's probably going to end up with other people monetizing the video. Have I ever been to Germany? I have. When I was younger, I went on a 2-week trip to Europe with my family. We spent some time in Germany and France, mostly around the Mosul, I think. So I've been to Germany a little bit, but not as an adult. Never like under my own steam. It was a family trip. Should visit Finland. Would love to visit more places. Definitely have ambitions to travel in my life. Just world needs to be in a place where it's okay for me to do that. Right now I'm not super keen on. We should be okay for headroom in here. I just want to make sure that this roof is at least a little bit even. We can take some of the iron out of this as well. Replay mod isn't compatible with Optifine anymore. I mean, it's not been compatible with Optifine for a while. Optifabric seemed to bridge that gap, but I don't know if that is still the case. If it's not, then not a big deal. Haven't really been using Replay mod for this series anyway, but we haven't done any big builds that I haven't just, you know, shown the process of on camera anyway. How did I get so good at building? Practice? Mostly practice. Watching a few good builders make YouTube videos, but I don't tend to follow tutorials and stuff all that much, personally. I follow tutorials for Redstone things, but then again, recently I've tried to wean myself off that, and I know enough about Redstone at this point to puzzle my way through most things. But really, it's much more about building up a your own sense of aesthetics, like the stuff that you like the look of. Copper aging farm on Empires was very impressive. Thanks. I plan on rebuilding this in this world at some stage, but it's not like especially efficient or anything. It's just fun. I just like doing that kind of redstone project. Okay, with the exception of a little bit of lighting, I think we might be ready to test this here. We've also got a couple of tropical fish in here. At least the hopper system works. I guess let's go grab the redstone stuff. Can take some of these materials back while we're at it, since we won't really need the granite down here. We'll take the clay. I think we'll leave a lot of the deep slate and stuff down here, because that's what I'm using to decorate right now. But I haven't decided on a decoration for these spawners yet. So nice to be able to get more clay. Yeah, I've got tons of it from the Lush Caves. Like, not entirely by intentionally farming it either. Like, in this case, I've just been getting a lot of it incidentally. Which is fine by me, because we haven't encountered a Badlands yet, so I can't really talk about terracotta except by smelting it from clay. But we'll see. Why don't I have the thanks to my patrons screen in my videos anymore? Because my Patreon is closed down. I no longer have support through Patreon as a revenue source. As of basically the last week of December, my Patreon no longer exists. Alright, we're pretty much safe, I think. Is there any other water sources around here? No. We'll swim up. Why'd I close it down? It was getting to the point where it was becoming too much for me to handle. I've always preferred to cover stuff like that myself, rather than have like a team of volunteers from the community do like my moderation and stuff for me. And with new sign-ups to the Patreon for like people wanting to be on the Patreon Minecraft server and everything else, like overall it was just becoming a little bit unmanageable for all of the stuff I wanted to do alongside that, you know? I realized that it was causing me more stress than benefit in the end. And obviously I was very grateful for everybody's support, and at sometimes it's meant that I've been able to continue doing what I was doing. It was one of the things that springboarded me into full-time YouTube. But, yeah, I don't want to basically be in a situation where I'm taking advantage of people's generosity and just taking their money without being able to provide the level of rewards I've been providing for the last 5 years. So I ended up making the decision to close it down. Hopefully everybody who's been part of that community, you know, if they want to continue supporting me, they can do it here on Twitch. They can just keep watching the videos on YouTube, which is the main source of revenue that I have, so that's my main source of support in general. But there's other creators out there, there's charities, there's loads of different places that they could be putting that money towards, and definitely worthier causes, I think. At the end of the day, I just don't want to end up disappointing anybody who would, you know, have put some of their hard-earned money into something I might not be able to deliver. And yeah, the Spawn Chunks podcast still has a Patreon, so if you want to support another thing that I do, we do a weekly podcast where we talk about Minecraft every week, and a lot of our support comes from listeners, so we don't run ads on the show or anything like that. We make the majority of our revenue on the show just from people's generosity, so that's pretty much always been the case, will continue to be the case as far as I know. We've had a bit of interest from people who could hook us up with advertisers, but a lot of the time they're expecting shows to be a bit more popular than ours is. And it's the kind of thing that we're interested in developing more organically than like pushing it through an advertising campaign or anything like that. There's more integrity to it that way in my mind. Yes, Redstone. Yeah, we're coming back with the Redstone. I'm just organizing my thoughts here. Yes, I saw the Froglight thing. The Froglight thing looks awesome. I'm really excited about that because it's effectively giving us 3 new light source blocks that look kind of like sea lanterns, but they're different colors around the edges, which is really cool for decorative stuff, and more light sources in this game is always going to be welcome. I am crossing my fingers that there's some other aspect to them beyond just looking pretty, but looking pretty is perfectly reasonable to me. So we need redstone bits. Let's grab some of those. We need some glowstone. We should need 3 lamps, so not much. All things considered. You have considered all things. The pearlescent one looks amazing with purple blocks. Yes, more stuff to go with purple is going to be a positive development because a lot of people use purple right now. One more of those, please. We're definitely going to need some repeaters for this, so let's wire that up. What's a frog light? Frogs in the wild update in 1.19 are currently being tested out in the Bedrock Edition beta for Windows 10, Xbox, and Android. And the idea is that if a frog eats a slime, like a frog can eat like a little baby slime, one of the smallest slimes, and that will produce slime balls. Like the frogs will automatically kill small slimes for you. If they do that with a magma cube, instead of dropping a slime ball, it drops a new block called a frog light, which is, yeah, as far as we can tell, a light source block right now. Yeah, I did see the name pearlescent and immediately thought of one person in particular. Proud of yourself for using purple lately in the overworld too? Nice. Yeah, Catherine Elizabeth on Empires has a bunch of purple worked into her base. It's got a very good kind of like, it's a lilac sort of color, it's fairy tale vibes. Makes a lot of sense. Poor frogs will just get farmed to make lights now. That's the thing, you're not killing the frogs to do it. I think the cool thing about a lot of the mechanics they're working in with new passive mobs is that the mechanic is so often working with the passive mob in a way that's not destructive, you know? It's not like you're slaughtering frogs to get a specific resource, right? Do I go on Empires just to hang out and check in outside of content? No, I've not really been on for the last little while. If I get focused on a series like Survival Guide, it has to be basically everything I do. Otherwise, I feel I either get overwhelmed or I get an idea for another project that would be really good on one series or the other, and then I just end up losing all of my focus. Which is why I've not been doing Empire stuff. I just need to be laser focused on making this series as good as it can be, otherwise all of my content is going to suffer. And I know a lot of people, like, I get comments on every episode just being like, hey, Empires, when is Empires? Are you going to do an Empires video? I'm like, I want to. You just need to give me time. That's all. Hey, Lynn and Sylvester, I'm doing very well. How are you? A reason not to destroy Bastion spawners? Yeah, I've done a magma cube farm using one of those spawners as well, and they're pretty straightforward. It's just dangerous to start. You've really got to like work quickly when you're dealing with those. Will I do a 118 museum? I don't know about 118 because, I mean, the Wild update is presumably going to be out sometime in 2022. And so I don't really have between now and then to make a museum. Like, the museum would have to be made out of dirt blocks or something for me to make it that fast. I still haven't finished the first museum, so, like, seems unlikely. But, will I do a museum in this series at any point? I mean, maybe. I don't know yet, and I kind of don't want to just try and repeat the projects that I tried last time. Like, I would like there to be a more unique identity for this series, but I haven't worked out what that is yet beyond... I want to do more base building, like I want to have a base in every biome, was the kind of loose goal I've set for myself over the course of this series. See, at this point, I'm torn between swapping out every block of the walls here with deep slate bricks, so that I don't end up digging into it from another side, and just thinking, how much more excavation am I going to do around here that would I actually need to do that? A cave base? Yeah, I mean, definitely. Are we really doing cave spider farms now? Yes, why? Careless, thank you for the 8 months. Hope I'm doing well. I'm doing alright. I'm doing alright. How are you doing? You can't make levers out of deep slate either. You can't make levers out of deep slate either. So, I'm probably going to have to grab a bit of cobblestone for that in a second. Yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense for these to be completely surrounded in deep slate bricks, just so I don't get confused. Every time I walk back over here, I hear a spider noise, and I think there's just a spider somewhere. There we go. We've got that handy. We can finish the roof on this thing, wire that up. I don't think there is a way of stopping the tropical fish from spawning here. Except for maybe, like, putting an axolotl in each room. In which case, they're just as likely to go down the hole in the center as the fish are, so... The water sources in here haven't done anything funky with the fish, though, so I'm still very unclear about why that was happening down there. Like, has it happened again? No. And now it's got interference from that side, but... Man, there's so many fish. It's really funny. Bonus tropical fish farm. Well, we got one from earlier. The other cool thing about this farm is that if we put a bunch of blocks across here to wire up the redstone lamp, it's not going to affect the spawn rates, because cave spiders don't need that much space. I always get confused about the deep slate crafting recipes when I'm not using a stone cutter. How many spawners are you able to activate at once? 3. There is one up here, which is by the door, which I'm leaving out of this set because it's not quite close enough to match the one over here, the one up in there. Do I have any ideas already for biome-specific bases, or am I just going to find something like locations that inspire something? The latter. I'm planning on largely playing it by ear until I get like a really fun idea for whatever kind of base. The fences in the middle stop them from climbing back up? No, they stop the water from flowing down inwards. So unfortunately, there's not a great deal of ways you can stop cave spiders from climbing back up walls. They are generally kind of tricksy. But the idea behind this is that the spawner is just going to keep spawning stuff. And even if a couple of cave spiders get stuck, which they will, because they are cave spiders, eventually some more are going to come along and help to push those cave spiders around. Or their natural pathfinding is going to take them towards another block, and that's going to help them on their way, as it were. But the only real way of avoiding cave spiders climbing stuff is to do a design kind of like the one I did with the spider spawner that I converted, where you effectively rely on them aggroing on you and walking over to one specific area of the farm. Which was not a consideration for this one, because cave spiders are kind of tricky to contain. There are a couple of ways you can do it, but it also relies on them walking towards me from 3 separate directions, and I thought that was just a little bit too complicated to be necessary. Keep forgetting you can't make deep slate into the deep slate variant. I know the cobbled thing is weird. I expect there's already a data pack or two that will allow you to craft the deep slate bricks out of regular deep slate as opposed to cobbled deep slate, because there's just no need for it. Like, it's very strange that it is different from stone in that way. They're all being funneled into one place. Yeah, that's the idea. There'll be more about this in tomorrow's video, but basically the spiders from this room go down this hole and go that way. The spiders from this room go this way, underneath here. They all end up in a bubble column that's under there. And the spiders from the spawner at the top basically get pushed into the corner of here, and then they go down the center of that room. So we have all 3 activated at once, funneled into 2 different water streams and then upwards into this one. It's the way it should work. Look into some data packs. Yeah, I wonder if Vanilla Tweaks has something like that. If not, you could very easily create your own recipe crafting data pack. Like, it wouldn't be that difficult. Right, we're pretty much ready to test this one. We just have to wire up the redstone lamp, which will require me to remember which block that is. Yeah, there we go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is it this one? It is. Great. So we do this. This also eliminates the problem of the spiders spawning on top of the spawner block if you put a lamp directly above it like this. It's always a little bit scary taking a torch off a cave spider spawner, but I think we can make this completely dark if we do this. Yeah, there we go. And so eventually, those cave spiders should make their way around to here. Fingers crossed that I've done this right. I would not be surprised if the first couple get stuck, because they do that. In which case we could probably just let it run for a second or two here. Hey, there's one. Okay, so it's working. Good, 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 good. Excellent. Wonderful. I was concerned, because the water streams under here are a little bit precise, and cave spiders tend to climb stuff, right? But as long as they're outside of a 9x9x9 radius of that spawner, it will keep spawning stuff. So every time you see splashing in the subtitles, I mean, that's probably also these spiders, but it's spawning more in there at the same time. And then the water streams propel all of the drops forward. They end up in this chest. And that's just one spawner. There'll be a couple that are just stuck in the system because, again, cave spiders are a nightmare to actually have them go where you want them to go, but they'll filter through slowly. Once one of them in there decides, oh, I want to go the other way, I want to pathfind towards a different block, it's going to get caught in the water streams, and they'll pop back up here, right? The advantage here is that we have 3 of these running at once, which means you end up with a lot of spiders accumulating here just by sheer numbers. And then they poison you, because I hate them. We will, of course, be working on ways to avoid them poisoning you. But that is not my immediate priority. Will they suffocate in water? Not in water streams like that. In flowing water, their hitbox actually comes out of the water. In a full water source block, they would. But when they're in a water stream like that, and this stream flows 2 blocks, basically because I tried this before, I've been mocking up a couple of designs in a creative test world for this. If you put the hoppers on the edge of this area, if you just had 1 block flowing over, the hopper hitbox is such that you actually get cave spiders catching on the underside of the hoppers. There is enough space in there for them to, like, stick a leg into. So you had to set the hoppers 1 block back like this, and that's why it goes over by 2 blocks. But even that basically guarantees that the spiders aren't going to get, like, stuck there. And now, of course, you can hear another cave spider that's just in there somewhere. To be honest, right? Yeah, there you go. There's every chance that they will just come up the tube here, because there's not much you can do to prevent them doing that except put more water sources around, which potentially means that they can, like, float up in the water sources as well. So it's kind of, it's neither here nor there. Like, eventually that spider will make its way into the system. In the meantime, it bobbing up and down there might potentially decrease the efficiency of the spawner. We'll have 3 of them running. Again, it shouldn't matter too much. But it works, put a stair on the right side and a piece of soul sand under it so the XP reaches you from your AFK spot. I mean, maybe? Like, it's not going to make too much of a difference. Like, I'm fine just hopping up here and getting the XP. We could figure out other ways of containing them, you know? Like, I could put the stairs, the fence gates, sorry, there instead, but that might also let them out diagonally. I can't recall exactly. Will they aggro on anything besides the player? I don't believe spiders attack anything else. I'm pretty certain that is not the case. I need to get more deep slate for this. See, eventually that guy made it around here. One other change I'm going to make is to put a row of sticky pistons across here so that we can basically shut this thing off, which both prevents more spiders from coming up in the meantime so we can walk forward and collect the XP, and prevents them from getting knocked back too far if I have like a knockback sword, for example. Yikes. Ignore the glitches. We're fine. Everything's fine. Technology is not absolutely failing me today. The redstone lamp is on. Yes, I know. I turned the thing off. I only wanted to test it a couple of times. I'm not planning on running this thing at full capacity quite yet. Won't the spiders that spawn in the upper spawner affect the rate of the spawner below that you're pushing them through? Yes. But I don't care. Like, spawners only end up spawning mobs every, like, 20 to 60 seconds or something like that, I think. It's like a relatively arbitrary amount of time. So, like, I honestly think a decrease in the rate of one of these spawners is worth the compromise of not having to have a third water stream connected to the setup that I already have. Am I aware of any changes to the flower map lately? I mean, I presume that everything is completely different now because of 1.18 changing the terrain. I haven't found a flower forest, and to be honest, I don't really know if the flower map is something that I would really be that concerned about. Like, unless one particular type of flower is impossible to get now, it's not really going to make much of a difference, is it? Castle Room, thank you for the 22 months. And Lucina Wardrobe with the 18. Sabina Catcher with the 4, thank you very much. I tell you what's really nice about the new lighting changes is knowing that one torch will light up a spawner so that when you break out the torches on the walls around it, you're like, no, I'm actually fine. This is okay. Do we know if mangroves will still have the blue orchids? I mean, no, because I don't know if the biome exists yet, does it? Like, it hasn't made it to bedrock or anything? Mapping them is giving Blobby results of flower map. Interesting. Thanks, Robocop. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Have I been invited, or do I intend to join any major multiplayer servers? No and no. Even if I was invited at this stage, I'd be turning everything down because I'm just laser focused on Survival Guide for a while. I don't know if that block of deep slate brick fell. If it did, then I guess we don't get it. Because that's just going to be in a water stream somewhere now. Hanging out with the tropical fish. What is my favorite genre of music? I like a whole bunch of different stuff. I don't know if I have a favorite genre as such. I collect video game soundtracks on vinyl now. Because I just think a lot of video game composers are really talented, and I have a lot of good memories tied up in various video game soundtracks. Like, I don't have the biggest collection in the world, and I won't collect something just because it's a video game soundtrack, but I have really been enjoying the stuff that I've got. Like, I've got the Undertale soundtrack, both the Minecraft vinyls, I have a bit of Supergiant Games' stuff on vinyl. Because Darren Korb is a great composer. We're still waiting on the Hades vinyl to ship, but they've had production delays because of COVID. Like basically everybody else in the world. But yeah, it's fun. It's a fun little hobby, and I like having physical reminders of these digital experiences. Sayonara Wild Hearts, I have that on vinyl as well, that's really good. The Hades soundtrack slaps, and hopefully the vinyl gets there soon. Yeah, it's going to take a while, but I'm happy waiting. I also pre-ordered, finally, I'm so excited about this. I pre-ordered the re-release of the Hyperlight Drifter soundtrack, which was a really limited vinyl release back when the game was first out, and has basically been my, like, holy grail of video game soundtrack vinyls.
Well,
and
that's just
it was going on like resale sites like Discogs for about $500, and I was like, I'm not paying $500 for this no matter how much I want it. That's absurd. But thankfully they've decided to reissue it. It's like 4 LPs as well, so it's a huge, basically like box set. And I'm so excited. I could not be happier that they've decided to reissue that. Really love the Nier soundtrack, Automata and Replicant. Yeah, there's some good stuff on that. I haven't played either of the games. I own Automata on Steam, but I've never got around to playing it. I've seen like the first ending, but I haven't really watched any more than that on YouTube or wherever. And yeah, I was kind of saving it for being able to play it myself sometime, but I don't know when I'll be able to because I have so much other stuff going on with Minecraft. But yeah, owning the Minecraft soundtracks on vinyl is fun. I have one of them. It is still over there. Yeah, I have one in a frame basically as part of my background. I have the alpha vinyl back there. The beta vinyl is downstairs somewhere, I think. So for this one, we can pipe the redstone this way. We'll have it go up at the edge here. Oh, is that going to be the wrong place? Yeah, okay, we can just have that move 1 block then. We go there. Do I play Skyrim or Tomb Raider? No, I asked on Twitter about Skyrim recently because I've never played Skyrim, and I'm basically one of the 3 people who haven't. And so I asked on Twitter which version I should buy if I was interested in playing, but I still haven't got around to actually purchasing it yet because, again, Minecraft. Hello? Oh, there's a fence there. I was like, there isn't a solid block above me, but there was, just not the one I was expecting. So the question is, can we get this up to here? Yes, we can. Great. So once we feed that into a repeater... Signal boost, perfect. That was basically 15 blocks worth of travel. So now we can turn that lamp on and off as well. And we have 2. Let's see if this works. I'm going to have to tidy this area up so much, because this is a mess. If I do this, we should get spawns from this, and we should also see some cave spiders coming out of there in a second. Fingers crossed. Basically realised I'm just standing in front of the area they're going to be spawning out of. Is there still a torch up there? I'm slightly worried about stepping into this and looking up. I feel like I might have left a torch up there on a block somewhere. Yep, there's still light. Yeah, we left a torch on the spawner. Well, let's fix this the safe way. Delta, thank you for the $3. Does having a YouTube and Twitch audience make it more fun for me to progress through this world? Absolutely. I would not be doing half the stuff I was doing were it not for the fact that we're doing this on videos and streams. Minecraft would be a hobby for me if it wasn't for Twitch and YouTube, so... Okay, cool. Didn't realise melon pumpkin farms could be so compact. Yeah, they've actually, I think they've changed that slightly since I made the original farm. They used to have a block of space above them, and now they don't. Which is kind of cool. Let me switch this thing off first. Kind of completely forgot what I was supposed to be doing there. Beautiful. Now, let's try that again. Instant. Perfect. And see, this is why we can't have this thing completely open, because they still try and pathfind towards me, and that means they get stuck on those walls more easily. So that's why we're going to cut this whole thing off. And we'll need to wire the redstone down here as well. But I might move the master switch from being up there, because that seems like a silly place for it. Trying not to get poisoned as I walk past. 2 of 3. 2 of 3. And already, a lot of spiders in here. A lot of spiders up in this piece. Decent amount of XP, too. Your kitty Rory approves of my spawner work. Well, thank you. It is always a delight to have the approval of cats. And I say that sincerely. Also kind of incredible to have just a few torches dotted around the place, but be a little bit more confident that a creeper isn't going to sneak up on me in this place. I don't have looting right now, so I can't tell if that's an adequate amount of drops or not. But I think we're doing okay. I haven't really been using it all that much. And the fish in there, so funny. Yeah, once again, we can hear a couple of spiders still lingering in the tunnels, but they will eventually make their way up to the surface. We'll know they're there when I get poisoned and didn't realise. There we go. I knew you'd make it up here eventually. There's another one on the way up as well. There we go. Spatial audio, friends. It's very useful. Da-da-dum. You've returned with coffee. Enjoy your coffee. I'm going to have a sip of water. Imagine if XP orbs rickroll you. That one that played Happy Birthday to me in the Nether was very funny and did make me think, what if XP orbs had a specific tune they play, but you never know because of the order in which the orbs get to you. For soundtracks, you can check out Pokemon. Does Pokemon have vinyl releases? I feel like a lot of Pokemon vinyl releases just end up being like fan music and stuff. The XP is getting stuck. Could I change that? I could, in theory. We just need to make sure that there is something the XP can come through without the spiders being able to get through as well, and these spiders can get through very small blocks. But if we did something like this, where we place a deep slate brick stair, and we do that like at an angle like that, the XP might be able to get through that corner. That's an option. Let's try it. Splashing. Hi, friends. Any upcoming guests on the podcast? We haven't booked anybody for this year yet, but we are hoping to get a few people on eventually. It's never our priority, though, and it's weird because people think, you make a Minecraft podcast, surely you should be inviting everyone and anyone on, and we want to have more of a variety of guests, and it's often difficult to find people who aren't, like, either people from Hermitcraft or developers. Both of whom are lovely guests, and we like having them on when we do, but we want to vary the production schedule up a little bit. Is the XP going to come through that corner? Not before the poison does. Okay, good. So maybe it won't work that way. No. Okay. Right. We'll figure something else out for that. I'm not gonna worry about it yet. Are all three running? No, we've still got this one to finish up. Making sure we have enough deep slate brick for that. And I need to figure out how I'm going to wire the redstone lamp for it, but... Two with the 200 bits. Thank you very much. Thematic, appropriate. Shadowzar0, thank you so much for the two gifted subs. Henry T with the Prime sub earlier as well. And Soviet Dragonov with the Prime sub. Thank you, thank you. This room we need to tidy up properly. And by properly, I mean 3 walls are basically completely open. Why don't I have netherite? I haven't got to the point in the series. This is a tutorial world, so I make a series of YouTube tutorials from this world. I haven't got to the point where I've started explaining stuff like netherite yet. And I don't believe in teaching people that you need to rush the progression of this game and that you should have OP equipment as soon as possible, because that's not typically the way I play. And also, there's a whole bunch of stuff you can do before that is really either necessary or even, like, something I would recommend. Like, I feel like learning to use some of the other stuff in the meantime is actually part of the fun of Minecraft. When did I build this spawner farm? I'm building it now. If you mean when is it going to appear on YouTube? Tomorrow. Part of the work we're doing on this stream is the behind-the-scenes work for that very video. So once we're done here, I'm going to go and record another clip where I explain how this all came to be. and that people can go and check out the VOD's channel if they want to see the process of setting this up. But since it's a lot of just placing blocks in walls like this, you don't need a tutorial for that part of it. I have drowned the entire room in deep slate bricks. That's all you need to know, and we've already set up a couple of spawners, so you get the general idea. I recorded an explainer for the direction of the tunnels and how each of the little intersections channels the spiders into the section where we're killing them. That's really all I need to explain as far as the tutorial goes. And hopefully the rest of the process should be pretty straightforward for people to see. Hello? Can I have the tuff? Thank you. Just want to fill this up with tuff. There we go. And I guess that one there is going to be deep slate brick anyway, so... Do I give the seed for the survival guide? Yes, it's in the description of all the YouTube videos. I would greatly appreciate if people did not leave coordinates for anything either in the stream or in my YouTube comments. I want to experience this world organically, exploring it myself for the first time, so I don't want people leaving the coordinates to a stronghold or something, because I want to be able to find that stuff myself. So please refrain from doing that and we'll get on very well. What happens if in 1.19 update, one Deep Dark City goes in the mine shaft and breaks all the farms? That's not the way it works when Minecraft updates come out. They have a policy of not interfering with anything a player has already built. And so any new terrain, any new structures, anything like that, always generates outside of the area that you've already explored. So even if you haven't built something there, the game basically guarantees that it's not going to spawn new stuff where you've been, just in case the player has affected anything in those chunks. They don't want to regenerate the terrain for you. Which is why you hear about people either trimming chunks out of their worlds or starting a brand new world whenever a new update comes out, so that that stuff is closer to their spawn point. Because there might be some areas that they haven't built anything in at all that they want to use for the new terrain. In my case, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm not certain if I will end up changing anything about my current world for that or not. But I'll also wait and see like what some of the changes are. Do I think there's going to be a way to locate the Deep Dark Cities, or would it just be a structure you stumble upon? You see, I expect it's going to be something you stumble upon, because that sort of accentuates the horror aspect of it. I can imagine the developers wanting you to stumble on a Deep Dark City and not, like, have a chance to gear up for it before you're just kind of, like, thrown into it, basically. So I like the idea of being underprepared for them in that sense. But then again, for people who may want to find that stuff for specific reasons, maybe like in Woodland Mansions, there could be a map to it or something, assuming that the Illagers are responsible for some of the creepier stuff that's going on in this game. It would also give you a really good idea, a really good like reason to seek out a Woodland Mansion, and also kind of include a progression of structures in the game, which is something that hasn't really happened before. I was just about to take out that torch. That would have been a bad idea. So let's wire this lamp up first. Nailed it. It's almost like having spatial awareness is a good thing. And now we'll probably add another lever on here temporarily. Activate the lamp. Take out the torch. And we should be able to run this with all 3 spawners active now. Exciting times. What are my thoughts on the new frog lights? I like the look of them a lot. I think the method of obtaining them is really interesting. I'm curious if they do anything else or if they're just fun aesthetic light sources. I would be happy with either. Alright, now we wait for lots of cave spiders. Just like Woodland Mansions, I don't think Deep Dark Cities will have much purpose to them. Well, there's at least one unique type of block there. You need the skulk in order to populate, like, to farm skulk sensors. So you'll need to get hold of some of that. Once you've done that and escaped the warden, you can basically do what you want with skulk, I guess, but it's nice to know that there's at least a reason to go there, whereas Woodland Mansions don't have anything unique now that evokers can be found in raids. Is there a reliable way to kill only slimes that aren't small? Yes. You could drown them. you could set up lava blades. Like, you can do a lot to mobs dependent on their height. And then have like a smaller area, like a 1 block wide area for the smaller slimes to escape through or something like that, right? You can do a lot like that. So the good news is it looks like we have a lot of spiders now. The bad news is they will poison me if I get too close. So I'll have to figure some more of this out in between stream and the episode. Because as you can see, they're still filtering through, even though I've now reactivated the lights. So there's still a bunch that'll just be trapped in the tubes for a little while. Oh, I still have this one as well, don't I? Oops. Pull all the levers, Kronk. Why are there fish? Because we're in a lush cave and tropical fish spawn in water sources in lush caves. So there may occasionally be tropical fish. But yeah, we're pretty much guaranteed that all of the drops will end up going into those hoppers. We almost got to level 33. We have a decent amount of string and spider ice. But yeah, the bubble column back here will make it impossible for drops to like sink back down into the water. Axolotls also spawn in them. Yes, true. Yeah, the Bane of Arthropods sword is stored over at the other spider spawner, and doesn't have sweeping edge, so this sword is probably better for now. Alright, there should be maybe 1 or 2 spiders left here, but I think we're good. I think there's 1 or 2 that will just be bobbing up and down inside of the tubes there before they decide to switch places. Do I think Skulk Shriekers are a good way to protect your house from other players? Probably not. Like, I don't expect so. Because once a thing exists like that, then players are going to find a way to get around it. Like, it'll scare people off if they don't know what the noise is, but once they understand that the noise is just something else, then yeah, I don't know if it's really going to be a thing. We also don't know anything about the mechanics of that. Like, does a Skulk Shrieker outside of the Deep Dark still spawn the Warden? We have no idea. Alright. That is a thing. That is a thing we did. It's a giant mess. There's the spider, finally. It's a giant mess, but it's our giant mess, and we can be proud of that. Still another spider in there. When am I going to explain about villager stuff? Next week. Next week is going to be villager week. So, I'm trying to think what we want to do here. I think we could add other redstone lamps to the outside here to be like our confirmation that the redstone lamps are on inside the farm. I missed a corner in the last spawner, somebody says. No, that's by design. The third cave spider spawner is up there. And that's why the water is flowing down from there, because another spider spawner up there will drop spiders down here occasionally. That's intended. Sorry, I didn't make that clear for people who had just come into the stream. It almost has Stronghold aesthetic now. It does a little bit. A bit less mossy stone brick, but yeah. So I bet somewhere inside of here, again, because this is a really long pipe down to that spawner, there's going to be a spider in here somewhere. Triple spawner, yes. 3 cave spider spawners in abandoned mineshaft. We actually have 5 spawners total, but they're not all within activation range of each other. The last 2 are over here, and there. That one there and that one there aren't within range of each other, because I'm directly between them now, and neither of them are spinning. And this one couldn't be activated along with this set of 3, because that one up there and that one over there are too far away. Have I ever had the opportunity to build a quad spawner? I might have. I can't remember now. Had many different worlds. I may also have ended up creating some dark spaces down here where regular spiders are spawning. There is also that possibility. So if you hear spider noises around here, don't assume that it's cave spider spawners. They do make the same noises. You don't want to turn your notch apple into thing banner pan? What is this Jedi mind trick you're trying to do in my chat? You don't want to turn the notch apple into a banner. I'll do what I want with my notch apple, thank you very much. Mind tricks don't work on me, only money. What if you use water to move the player around to spawn them and bring them to the kill chamber? I mean, you could do that. You probably get poisoned a few times. It's kind of difficult to rely on a player aggro thing that also involves the player moving. Thought money didn't work on me either. That too. that too. Where are you? Oh, it's up there. Oh, that's awkward. Die. Yeah, like I said, a couple of spiders are just going to climb the wall here. To that I say, eh. It doesn't hugely matter. Again, their pathfinding will eventually bring them down. When it does, they get killed. Easy money. And again, if they're not disrupting the spawn cycle of the spawner block, then it's hardly a problem. You've returned with hot cocoa. Nice. Very nice. Good weather for it, especially right now. Would signs stop them from climbing in problem spots? Nope, they can climb on signs. Signs basically don't exist to cave spiders, or spiders in general. Trapdoors are the main thing, because they actually have a hitbox. The idea is that the spider climbs up to a certain point, and then the collision box of the trapdoor stops them climbing any further. But if they climb onto the trapdoor from another surface, for example, like if they were climbing this wall and then they got stuck to a trapdoor that was on that wall, same thing happens. Like, it only really works if you have a single vertical surface that they might climb. And even then, it's not particularly reliable. That's why I didn't bother with the trapdoor thing in the tunnels down here. I just made everything 1 block high. Am I following the new Star Wars series? No, I'm not. I don't have Disney Plus, so I haven't watched any of the newer Star Wars stuff. I've seen Season 1 of The Mandalorian because we were in the States for a little while, seeing family back when Season 1 was new, and they had Disney Plus when we were over there. Could you put water there to drown them with fence gates? I could, but the whole point is not to drown them. Like, I don't just want this to be a passive farm, although it'd be perfectly fine if it was. Thank you, Tropical Fish. The last thing I really want to do, which we might as well do here because I can explain it very easily on the stream, on the video rather, is if we cook a little bit more iron, we can make some pistons and we can... Oh, I put the slime balls away at home. I'll have to go back for them anyway. Alright, yeah, we want to have one set of these blocks, maybe this set, maybe that set, push downward to trap the spiders in here so that we can kill them without them being knocked back, and also so that we can prevent more spiders from coming up, and that way we can gather the experience orbs. Can the killing process be automated? Very easily. Can a player kill be automated? Very different question. Because you can set up like an auto-clicker script for yourself, basically, so that you swing a sword and it hits the things. But that's really all you can do in terms of automating player killing. That and getting tamed wolves to do the work for you, but that's much more difficult when it comes to anything that can fight back. Mobs with Thorn's armor and, you know, stuff like cave spiders that might have a bit longer reach and can poison your wolf, definitely going to kill it. Like, unless you're crushing the cave spiders or causing enough fall damage to them that the wolf can kill them in one hit, not going to happen for you. Put a rock on the mouse. The thing is, you know, regardless of whether you put a rock on a mouse, like, you're not going to automatically swing at new mobs when they arrive. Like, you can swing at blocks like that, no problem, but if I try and, like, target this tropical fish right now, which is difficult, like, I'm not automatically killing the fish like I would be clicking on it. If I hold down the mouse button, it doesn't let me hit the mobs. So, yeah, something that repeatedly clicks over and over again for you using a script is probably the only real way to do that. Like the F3 and T trick that you use for, like, keeping the left click button held down only works for mining, it doesn't work for attacking. Thinking about snowmen killing with snowballs that you set on fire with lava doesn't count as a player kill. Will the snowballs do damage? Or does it just become like you hit them with fire? And then if they get set on fire, then the fire damage kills them. Because, yeah, fire damage won't do a thing. Do I have a target duration for my YouTube videos? Nope, as long as it takes to get the tutorial done. Although if it gets too long, I tend to split it up, because I'm like, I don't really want to have a 45-minute video, unless it's about something people really care about for 45 minutes. Is there another slime around here yet, or no? Apparently not. This weekend, I believe this weekend, we're going to be going back to 8-Bit Community's D&D campaign, which is exciting. Did that axolotl just die, or did it get back into the water? Is that a baby axolotl? Incredible. You love to see it. How many survival guide videos have I made? Oh. Didn't mean to left click. How many total? I couldn't tell you at this point. There's 364 of the original series, and what are we on, like 25? Today's was 24, so this would be the 25th one. So I guess a good bunch. 360 something. 370 something. In this series, there's 24 so far, but this will be the 25th. On episode 25 of the last series, I was going to fight the dragon at this point, so shows you how much we rushed that series, doesn't it? What about Hardcore Survival Guide? I ended it. The last video about that is all about it ending, so I always find it strange when people ask what about something that they, you know, if they watched it, they would find out what about it. It's like all the people who ask me about Empires. It's like, I mentioned in the last video that I'm not going to be making videos for a while. The title is very self-explanatory. Yeah, I mean, I can't expect everybody to presume everything from the title, right? Maybe some people saw it, thought that I died in the series, and were like, well, he's probably going to start another hardcore world at some point. No. No, I don't like having multiple vanilla series going at the same time unless they have a very specific focus. And even then, like, splitting your effort between two vanilla Minecraft series is difficult for some people, myself included. Other people find no problem at all doing it. Like, you see folks like Pearl and Gem, they're doing like One Block, Skyblock, and Hardcore, and Hermitcraft, and other worlds on the side, and I'm like, I don't know how they have the time and still have, like, you know, a personal life. Because I play Minecraft a lot of the time, and I still feel like I only have the bandwidth for one world, maybe two. And I only want to have the bandwidth for two when I'm, like, you know, working on larger projects for one, and I won't have a video out every day. I don't understand how they've got the stamina. They upload way less frequently? I mean, maybe. But even then, it seems like they're doing enough work that they could put 5 videos out if they wanted to. It's just the editing time, probably. And Gem is playing League of Legends again. Yeah, like, Fwip has this incredible hardcore world where he builds a castle in an entire episode, and then he's like, I'm playing Age of Empires 4 this week. I'm like, what? How do you do that? I feel guilty when I pick up the Switch and play Celeste for a little bit. Oh, there's Pearl. Hi, Pearl. The editing part is what kills the time for you? Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. I spend a lot of time just making sure my edits are, like, all in a row, you know? But yeah, I guess if you're uploading an episode a week or something like that, and you've got multiple series running, you can do a lot in the meantime. But for me, it's just like having all of that stuff hanging over you for a while. I'd get to the point where I was editing that video and be like, there's just so much stuff, where do I even start? But it's a different process for different people. Like, everyone's got a differently creative brain. Doing a little lurk. It's all good, Pearl, no worries. Hope you're well. Hope you're staying safe out there. Akira Dota, thank you for the 14 months. And Leica Gaming, thank you for gifting a sub to Pearl. Thank you for your own resub earlier as well. Really appreciate it. Pearl's ears were burning, apparently. Yeah. It's all good, though. Let the lady lurk. How much time do you need to get enchanted netherite armor? I mean, if you're speedrunning it, you could get it within, like, a couple of in-game days if you were really... Like, if you got a good spawn, especially, like, if you had villagers and you could just buy diamond armor from the first blacksmith you saw, you can speedrun your way to netherite armor pretty easily. But, in this series, I've only even spent a little bit of time in the nether. Like, I haven't found all of the biomes in the nether yet. I found a bastion, I'm not really going in it. Like, I'm spending a little bit of time figuring out the basics before I rush the objectives that most people just go straight to when they have more experience in a world. Because I want people to know how this stuff works. I'm only missing nether wastes. No, I've found a nether waste, or I've been through it probably on the Strider when we were riding around. I need a warp forest. Isn't netherite way more early game than bastions? I mean, that depends. I have absolutely no problem grabbing a bucket of lava, pillaring up 3 blocks, and killing some piglin brutes that way. Like, for proper netherite mining, you can dig around anywhere and hope you get lucky, or you can be a bit more organized about it, have fire resistance potions, just go dig down. But I don't see netherite as being quote-unquote early game. Like, I barely think of diamonds as being early game, to be honest. You're in the mid-game for a solid portion of a Minecraft world. And considering some people's way of playing is, like, the speedrunning way, where it's, like, you just go and fight the dragon immediately so that you have shulker boxes or what have you. Like, I don't know if there even is something that you might count as an early game or a mid-game in Minecraft anymore. Brutes have killed you about 7 times in your hardcore worlds. The thing about brutes, the thing about any Minecraft mob is you've got to take into account how they attack. You just don't get within melee range of a brute, which means getting a little bit more cautious. But realistically, you can just stay out of melee range, fill them full of arrows, or dump a bucket of lava on them, and you're fine. The best thing about the bucket of lava approach as well is that it won't aggro the other piglins, because you're not killing them as a player, and the only thing you might get from a player kill from a brute is, like, XP, which, who cares? So, over here, we'll probably take the fences out now that there aren't any cave spiders here. What we want to do, we'll test this out for the better location for this. But no, actually it's going to have to be here, because if we push them down over the back blocks, we'll break the water sources, won't we? Okay, in that case then, we'll have these up here. We'll make some sticks. And we'll put a lever in the middle that will activate all 3. The tropical fish killer is what this is. And that will block off that from bringing any more spiders in. There is another fish at the back there as well. Can spiders climb dead coral fans in Java? They can't in Bedrock. No, I'm pretty sure spiders can climb anything that doesn't have a collision box, and dead coral fans don't have collision as far as I'm aware. What am I going to do first, netherite or the dragon? Good question, I'm not certain. I did write down a bunch of ideas for future episodes, and obviously, like, netherite and stuff was one of them, but I didn't even touch on the dragon and stuff. So, we'll see. Can zombie spawners spawn zombie villagers? Not anymore. And I think that may still be the case on Bedrock. It's not on Java. as of, I think, 1.14, zombie spawners no longer spawn zombie villages. So if I get this close, I'm within hit range. The fence gates are okay. I've heard something about trapdoors being a possibility, but I think that's like people are like a trapdoor on a wall or something like that. We could put walls along here instead of these blocks, and that would still let the XP through. Can I lower mob sounds a bit? Yes, I can. Sorry. The spider's screeching is pretty horrible. So anyway, let's turn these off. And by that I mean turn them on because it's redstone. And now we can do this. Let a couple more through. Claim all the lovely XP for ourselves. And there's a couple more waiting for us. Definitely makes it better than swinging at them twice. Like that. Now let's have that fence back. Yes, thank you. What did I do to the other survival guide world? I moved it to a different folder. It still exists. I actually have it on a multi-MC install, so I'm still running 1.16.4 on an instance that I have the replay mod and Optifine and a bunch of other stuff in. That's all installed in a different folder. Does XP get flown by water? I don't know what do you mean by flown? Does it get pushed, moved? I mean, I think so. Does it flow with water, I guess? Yeah. Would slabs over the hoppers suffocate the spiders in the fences? No, the fences have a transparent hitbox. You can collide with a fence. But you're saying if I put a slab over the top of the hoppers, would I be able to get the XP that way? Possibly. You wouldn't have the water flowing effect though, because like you could waterlog a slab if it was a full water source, but not flowing water. Do you have to be on the same version to play with friends? Usually, yes. There are some minor exceptions to that, like some servers have version compatibility set up, so you can play Hypixel on like 1.8 through 1.18, I think, unless they've changed that recently. English is so weird. Flaught could be a past tense. It could. Will a rotated stair now allow XP through? No. This one isn't, anyway. I think we actually got them all that time. I don't hear any more hissing. So that's nice. That's proof that the farm is at least doing what it's supposed to do, anyway. Do I like to design farms myself? Yes. This farm is all stuff that I've muddled through in creative test worlds and stuff until I've figured out roughly what's going on here, and some of the time I now know enough to wing it in survival, but I tend to do that less with redstone stuff because it becomes more and more of a hassle to figure out. But I think we can at least dig out a little bit more of this area, and that will at least open the space up visually, and then we can do a bit of decoration around here maybe in a future episode. Probably not right away because I do need to edit this for tomorrow. Do I expect 1.19 to be out by July, or do I think it's going to get pushed back again? I doubt they're going to delay things anymore, just because I feel like there are still some people who have a bad taste in their mouth from that, and I doubt Mojang wants to do the same thing again. they probably have a bit more of a handle on their workflow now that they're working from home, and the update is less ambitious, technically speaking. But yeah, I doubt that they will delay things again, but I don't know what the release date's going to be. I don't want to make any assumptions. Nebraska, thank you for the 10 months. One step closer to nerding out. Like, I wouldn't expect a certain release date until they tell you, hey, we plan to have the update out by this time. And remember that when they say seasons, when they say stuff like summer, summer begins in what, like June, July, and ends in September. So it's not going to be like the first day of summer it comes out, right? Like, I can see them expecting to get something done by, like, the school holidays, for example, but it at least gives them a little bit of leeway if they say somewhere in this 3-month range first. I'm not an impatient guy. Like, I'm fine playing the game whenever they update the game. Don't get why people are already so antsy with the next update when we just got this one. I think it's something where multiple parties are equally to blame here. It's people getting impatient, especially the folks who weren't all that keen on terrain changes being a thing, or they've known about the terrain changes for so long that they just want to hear about something else now. And it's a little bit on Mojang for having the release schedule they have, because at this point they've announced an update before the update they were working on has come out, and so like they're forecasting a little bit ahead of where they're actually delivering right now, which is fine because that's often how the development cycle works, especially for this game, and there's snapshots and everything to come, and the betas are coming out for 1.19 now. But I think it's a symptom of the problem where they're having to get people hyped about stuff so far in advance that we haven't had time to get hyped about the stuff we already have yet. Can we move a Bedrock world to Java, or do I have to restart? There are tools that exist to convert a Bedrock world to Java as long as you're playing on a specific type of device. I mean, as long as you can transfer your world onto your PC, you can download tools that will convert it. I cannot vouch for the quality of the conversion process. I've used a couple of tools in the past to copy my world from Java Edition to Bedrock Edition. Hermitcraft did it recently with their world download, which was in Java originally, of course, and they made a release available for Bedrock players. So it is possible that can be done. I don't know for certain how good the process is anymore. I'm starting to really identify the difference between Deep Slate and Cobbled Deep Slate, where at first it was... I think the side texture is a little bit more difficult to tell the difference at first glance, but that is a very definite change. The top texture is very different. If you're okay fixing some stuff, then conversion is probably an option. Yeah, probably. We call this the fish crusher. We have 4 tropical fish in here now. And technically I could save some of these in a bucket, but they'll just keep spawning in there. Use Amulet for the world conversion. Azuma had another tool that he was... I think it was something like Universal Minecraft Converter, I think. Don't quote me on that in case I'm wrong. But yeah, there's always going to be some weird teething problems because some stuff is just different about the two versions. Call it the fish squish. We could call it that. Yeah, I think I'm all good with this farm for now. It's at the point where I could make more changes to it, but they're all changes that I would want to explain on camera. We have another fish. But we've got a stack and a half of string. 34 levels. I think I probably want to go and sleep, but I might tidy up some of the stuff around here first, because we've got a bunch of junk here that I could really do with taking home, starting with the nice stuff. What else? What else? Copper, redstone, repeaters. Yeah. We'll come back for all of the cobwebs and whatnot. Oh, hey. It's our friend the slime. He just killed a fish. I'll absolutely take more slime balls at this point, especially if I can throw out some flint. I might also come back and harvest some more small drip leaf. I guess we'll use the deep slate bricks to get out of here. When am I going to do a slime farm? Probably not until we have a beacon, unless I want to spend 2 days digging out the area for it. Or do some moss mining, which is an option. But I don't think I will need that amount of slime until much later. In the meantime, we could go and get slimes from, like, swamps. Just go to a swamp at night, get a stack of slime balls. That'll get you enough slime blocks for, like, a flying machine of some kind. You need silk touch for small drip leaf? No, shears. You need shears. How much progress has been made on the grinder so far? We are basically done with the setup for it, and I don't want to do much more to it off camera for the YouTube video. Although obviously this is all going up on Pixel VODs, so hopefully, hi YouTube, people are watching it there if they want to see all of the process. But my hope is that I've explained enough of the stuff that I needed to put together that everything else was just like, I put a water stream here, I put blocks all around this, I put redstone lamps on each of these, and then I'll add some tinted glass so that we can see into it without the light coming in from outside. We'll maybe do a bit of decoration. I'll talk more about the killing area. How do we stop these cave spiders from poisoning us? That kind of thing. We could even, if you wanted to be really, like, meticulous about a cave spider spawner, and you knew there were some areas of the spawner mechanism and the tunnels and stuff where spiders always get stuck, you could, in theory, put a dispenser in there with arrows and have, like, a spider quick release button that fires a dispenser with an arrow directly at the cave spider wherever it's stuck on the wall. And maybe that would work. I don't know if it would have enough knockback if it came from a dispenser, but it might work. But I don't think there are places in this farm that I could highlight that would be consistent enough. And frankly, it might not work at all. It might just deal damage to the spiders and that's it, you know? Got some more copper and gold. We have so much copper. Like, the copper is just off the charts. Since I'm not building too much with it right now. Got redstone bits in here. I'll put the piston in there. We'll keep the slime balls in mob drops for now. Nice to have a place for basically everything at this stage. keep the stone cutter as our travel stone cutter. Would magma blocks help where they get stuck? No, they get stuck on the ceiling, and magma blocks only affect things which are standing directly on top of them, not, like, on the sides. They'll climb walls, is the problem with spiders. So putting a magma block up here is not going to do anything. Unfortunately. Already imagining what a frog-light farm would look like. Assuming frogs survive in the nether, it's going to look like a bastion magma cube spawner. Feeding stuff to frogs slowly over time. At least mine would. What about a redstone repeater hooked up to a piston? Could do that. Could do that. Dispenser with enchanted bows. Oh yeah, having a punch 2 bow and a dispenser would be so good. Let's check up on this, because we're going to be trading with villagers next week, so we're going to need a little bit of paper for trading. That's going to be worth it. Let's hop on down here and check in on the melons and pumpkins. Yeah, we haven't been around here much, and I don't think either of these farms will work while we're away, because even if they're in the spawn chunks, they need to be within player tick, like random tick range. I updated this since I did the terraforming stuff. I guess that's where the farm is, yeah. Alright. Villagers next week? Yes. The coordinates for the spawners will be in tomorrow's video. So I won't go and look at them right now, but you can watch tomorrow's video and you'll find coordinates for the spawners we are using. When am I going to decorate the nether portal? I think we'll probably do some more stuff about geodes, and then I'll decorate it with, like, the kind of geode design that was, you know, done to death, really, in 1.17, but it does fit really well with the nether portal, like, color. Like, having amethyst crystals and stuff growing up around here. It makes sense as well, because it's buried in the hillside. I kind of like that. We can talk about slightly bigger nether portals as well, like, it doesn't just have to be a 2x3 interior. Not going to do another sword portal? No, not really my aesthetic. I was thinking about what we could do around here, because I've talked about wanting to build a base in every biome, and this is the birch forest. I was thinking we might do, like, a row of houses going up the side of this hill, and have, like, a little kind of hillside community, maybe like a little winding road that goes up there or something, and have a little bunch of aesthetic houses up there sometime. Just thinking about what I can do with this area. I want to design a few more cliffs, like, I mean, we did a really small one over here. There's not a huge amount of room for detail. But, like, stuff like this, but around the shoreline here. So while some of it is, like, low-lying Riverlands kind of stuff, like, I think I want to do a couple of areas which have slightly more terraformed cliffs and things. And then that area over there being the beach, that can be the lower area. Maybe we'll do a little bit more beachy terraforming around here, who knows. I don't use a redstone torch instead of observer for the piston door, because the redstone torch method would short out the redstone torch if I built it the same way. Like, I'd have to rewire it completely. Like, if we grab one from here, I can demonstrate. Like, if I hop down here, open this up, if that ends up getting replaced by redstone dust, there we go. I was trying to pick block and it didn't want to. Obviously, these blocks here are part of the hillside as well, so it's kind of awkward. we'd have to make sure that that block was gone so that the redstone wire could run down here uninterrupted. We'd need to have the redstone torch on this block, like that. But then when we run the redstone dust over the top of here, it burns out. So we have to rewire the redstone so that it goes around to that block instead of powering it diagonally, like over the top. And that was just a design I didn't really feel like squeezing into this little area. I felt like we could do it with slightly less redstone and also show the interesting effect of the one-tick pulse forcing sticky pistons to let go of the blocks they were holding. I thought that was kind of an interesting thing that people might want to know about if they play Java. Now let's get back to the house and finally sleep, because otherwise phantoms. I think we're good. Will I build another castle? At some point, maybe. I kind of want to move away from medieval stuff because people love it, people hate it. I think it's fun to do a variety of build styles, and I feel like people see better medieval stuff from a lot of other people as well. Like, not trying to say I'm like gonna compete with other builders, because I lose out basically every time. There are going to be many, many people who can build various things better than I do. But we didn't really get to do a great deal of like more modern or contemporary building in Survival Guide Season 1. We can do stuff around here that feels a little bit more rustic, but is like more just, we're getting started. It's like that Minecraft base feel that doesn't necessarily have to have a real world aesthetic applied to it. And then maybe we do a medieval area. We can do an area that's got a bit more modern stuff. We can do a sci-fi area. We'll do something cyberpunk somewhere. Hello. We'll do stuff like that every now and then, you know? The Final Fantasy steampunk build I was working on. Oh, that was in Sky Factory. So Sky Factory was kind of a different beast because it had different materials available to us at the time. Could do some fun stuff like that, but it really depends on the materials, and you've got to figure out the aesthetic based on vanilla blocks. Can you wire the door to be operated by lever on both sides? Yeah, I mean, it's easier if you do it by lever. I mean, on both sides, though, that kind of requires like a logic gate, which I could do, but again, it would require a bit more space than that, really. Could place the torch on the button block and keep the wires. Oh, you could do that, I guess. Yeah, there's ways around it. I don't see the problem with the observer door, though. What's the key to building in a modern style? I don't know if there is, like, a key to it. There's a lot of different aspects, because, you know, a house is still going to be a box with a roof, depending on the style that you're building in. Like, a medieval house and a modern house have, like, a few different things. Like, roof pitch is a big one. The type of materials you're using, like, you can use cobblestone and woods very differently in a modern house, and they still look modern compared to how you're using them in a medieval build. Like, if you look at the ski lodge that I built in the ski village in Survival Guide Season 1, that kind of like A-frame style design, that still used these types of materials, but you're achieving a very different effect. There's concrete sections to it as well, which is a bit different, and concrete is like the very easy, lazy, shorthand version of modern, but like it all depends how you end up using it. I feel like a lot of people's way of building modern stuff is just to build something that looks very, like, boxy, but you apply a bunch of different cubes to something and framing elements around them and put a lot of glass in it, and a lot of the time that's that. Is that Enderman on my roof now? I do like getting to watch Endermen occasionally because they can't see you through glass. Like, what are you doing? Bye. Where's he taking that grass block? What's he building in there? Like building cliff houses, you can get away with making the roof just part of the cliff. Yeah, you don't have to spend as many materials on the exterior if you're building like half in something else. I'm just rambling now. Should we wrap up the stream there? I think we should. It's a little bit early, but I think I do need to go and do some recording, and I can pass you off to somebody else here on Twitch. And hopefully you will enjoy their stream. Let's see who's out here. Oh, my partner is currently streaming right now. They are writing out Lord of the Rings by hand using fountain pens and playing around with stationery and stuff. I'm not going to send you over to them with a raid because they are not a Minecraft player and you guys are all Minecraft people and you probably want to watch some Minecraft. So instead, we're going to raid Mr. Beardstone, who has popped into the stream a little bit earlier. He's a lovely bloke. You will have a very good time on his streams. And I guess he is playing some kind of Maze Runner map right now, which seems like a kind of fun thing for you guys to check out. Enjoy. I'll be back. Actually, I don't know when I'll be back, because this weekend I'm going to be playing Dungeons & Dragons with the 8-bit community, so make sure you go and check that out if you're interested in a bit of a fun D&D game. But I'll probably be back Tuesday then, if that's the case. Enjoy Beardstone stream. You can use your Pixel Hype emotes and the hashtag PixelRaid to show some love. And I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video, where hopefully this cave spider spawner will go down a treat. Until then, take care. My name's been Pixarus. I'll see you guys soon. Bye for now.